Sri Lankan tea is famous all over the world. It was one of the biggest exports, earning the country $1.3 billion. However, these recent economic crisis has ravaged the country. Tea pickers are struggling to make ends meet. While inflation is almost at 93%, their salary remains unchanged. Many of the workers on tea estates fear their families will be trapped in a cycle of hardships. What led to this generational poverty? Let's find out.
The cold air nips at her fingers as Amasi Gita gets to work. She's one of the 100-odd tea pickers in Norwood. It is a sleepy hill nestled away in Sri Lanka's central province. Like on all days, Gita is laser-focused. She must pick enough leaves to secure her daily wage and support her family.
My husband is dead, and in the 4 years since he died, I've been managing things. I only have work here. I don't have work anywhere else outside because I have a small child. I can't travel anywhere for work because I want to look after her. My only income is my salary here, and then now I don't even get that.
Workers like Gita never leave the estate. They live and die here. Tiny gravestones will eventually mark their final resting place. Pay was always meager at tea estates. But at least it was enough to make ends meet. Not the case anymore. Sri Lanka's economic crisis has upended the tea pickers' lives. Inflation has soared to 93.7%. However, the basic pay at Norwood is still the same. $2.8 for 18 kilograms of tea leaves.
I wonder what on earth am I going to do? Whenever I start thinking that I'm unable to feed my children, they will come and ask me for an egg. Or some anchovies. And I feel really sad. That's how we are living right now.
Gita is a Sri Lankan Tamil. Her ancestors were shipped from India as indentured laborers. Her mother too was a tea picker. Gita fears the same fate now awaits her daughter.
My children's education has been disrupted and badly affected because of the economic crisis. Other than that, we're also really struggling to eat and buy household goods. For all sorts of reasons, we also don't get steady work here. I'm finding it extremely difficult to provide education for my children.
Most children here tell the same story. Meet Kanagaraj Pavitran. His mother works in the Norwood estate. The current crisis has forced him to drop out of school.
I do want to go to school, but our house is small. We did build another one, but that gets soaked. Because of that, I've stopped going to school. My mum wasn't well, so our income is lower. My mum doesn't always get a salary, and my dad sometimes sends money, but other times he doesn't.
Trouble started around 2021. Former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa embarked on a disastrous agricultural campaign. Overnight, he banned chemical fertilizers. The once lucrative tea industry also collapsed. All over the island, output fell drastically, by almost 25% between July 2021 and 2022. Workers like Gita were the worst affected. At this rate, these workers face generational poverty. The current generation struggles with low pay. The next generation struggles with no education. It is an evil designed to protect the cycle of poverty, to keep the Lankan Tamils poor.
So you see,
where the marriage certificate says race, it says Indian. Because of this, if we have a child, they will also be labelled as Indian. It's as if we are not Sri Lankans, but Indians. That's why we are already scared that our children might not be able to get jobs in the future.
Tea was once the crowning glory of Sri Lanka's economy. Around 95% of the domestic output was exported. Total value, almost 1.3 billion US dollars. During those glory days, these estate workers never got their due. Now in crisis, they are now being pushed to the front. South Asia Bureau, WION, World is One.